Hey guys, welcome back to Storyhouse Books. It's Tiana, as usual. So what are we working on? What's today? Today is Sunday, Series Sunday. No, yeah. So what are we working on? This is part, I believe it's part 3 now. This Grungy Folio recreate of one I created a while back. So let's go ahead and get started. We've already done the cover. We've done these front panels here so far. We'll be doing more decorating as we go along. Right now, we're just going to get the main flips and whatnot in for now. Okay? Oh, let's just stuck this up here. All right, so let's start on panel number 1 right here. So we're going to have a flip out here with a... Uh-oh. What happened to my... I'm missing something. I'm missing my envelope. Where'd it go? It's got an envelope flip if I can find it. Yep, there it is. I can't think of anything stacked up. So we're going to have a flip out here. Yeah. It'll flip open this way. And on top of that, we're going to have an envelope flip out. It'll flip out the same direction. Okay. We've got a 3-inch spine. The sub-spines are 1 1/4 inch. All right. Which means we have 5/8 of an inch on either panel to work with as far as bulk. Right. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to see how much room I got to work with here as far as height of the first flip out, the bottom flip out. And that's 10. Oh, it's a little less than 10. So let's do... Let's do 9 3/4. Yeah? That's a little bit more than that. We do 9 3/4 that'll work. Let's do 9 3/4. 9 3/4 by here. 9 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, so that's the bottom flip here with this piece. 9 3/4 by 5 3/4. So what does that mean? Are those the exact measurements? No, they're not, because we have to consider the gusset and the flap that attaches it to the base, right? So if it's 5 3/4 width, right, we're going to add, let's see, what's half of 5/8? Let's do 5/8 is going to bring me 1 2 3 4 5. Doing the math in my head, y'all. Sorry, 1 second. So that's 5/8 is right there. That's how much room we've got to work with, right? Okay, so that's 1 1/4, 5/8 is right here. So that's 1 2 3 4 5. So let's do it at 3/8, and that gives me 2 3 4 5. That gives me another 1/4 inch for the other top part. Okay, let's do that. 3/8 will be the gusset. Okay, and then a 1/2 inch will be the flap. So that means, oh my gosh, the math is going to kill me now. I need a piece of scrap paper. Alright, let's make sure I got these measurements right. I want to make sure that they're right for you guys. So 5 3/4, then we got to add 3/8 for the gusset, and then a 1/2 inch for the flap. That actually ends up being 6. Oh goodness, 3/4. So let's make that 6 1/4, 6 1/2, 6 5/8. All right. So we're gonna do wide 6 5/8 by 9 3/4. Okay. All right. Let's open this up here. So I said tall, we're going to do 9 3/4. Tall. Yeah. By 6 5/8 wide. So there's 6 right here. And that's 5/8 right there. Okay. Right? Yeah, 6 1/2 was an 1/8. Yeah. Hope that's right. We're about to find out. If not, we can always cut it again. Okay. Let's grab our scoreboard and make our scores for the, where is my scoring tool? Well, Fidgy widgets. Oh, it's underneath everything over here on the side. All right, let me make sure I'm in frame. I'm in frame. Okay. So here we go. I'm sitting on my dress weird. Okay. So we're going to do our 1/2-inch flap to start. Then 3/8 for the gussets. So it's 1 tick, 2 tick, 3 ticks, right? Isn't that what we said? 3/8. Okay. And that should do it. All right. All right, let's go ahead and make our folds here. And then we will measure it, make sure that it fits like the way I want it to. Okay, panel number 1. Looks like it fits the way I would like it to. I'm gonna bring it all the way to here. Right up to the, almost to the edge there. So I want some of this to show. I'm gonna go ahead and round the corners as well. All right, there's that piece. The next piece that's gonna go is this piece will go on top, right? And this is gonna actually have a gusset as well. I'm gonna give this one a 1/4-inch gusset, okay? Why? Because we're gonna have stacked pockets here, or the faux pockets here. We're gonna have a pocket in here, 2 pockets on here. So that will be about 5/8 once we put everything in, okay? Inside here, we're gonna have 2 envelopes here, envelope here, and envelope. And here we're going to have about 6 stacked pockets, okay? So let's go ahead and start with these. We are going to cover these. I'm trying to remember how I did my last one. Because a lot of times I'm going, you know, shooting from the hip. And I don't remember sometimes what I did. So I've been studying the video to make sure I get the same thing, right? So let's go ahead and reinforce these. I need to go ahead and put the paper on these as well. That I'm going to cover this envelope with. Yeah. Okay. So excuse me, guys. I'm doing this kind of from memory and kind of from the video, and I don't want to get it wrong because you guys wanted to recreate, right? So trying to recreate as best we can, right? Okay. So I'm going to use. I think I want to use this. Do I want to use the blue or the? Yeah, I think I want to use the blue on here. And then one pocket, this is going to be a pocket right here, this guy, and then this one will go above that one, right? I want some contrast. I thought about using this one, but then it's too much of the same thing, I think. Yeah, let's go with this funky charcoal blue thing here. Because this is actually going to be a greenish black. And then that will go up above there. Yeah. I think so. I think so. I think so. I think so. Okay. Okay. We're going to get this right. We're going to do it. We're going to get it right. I know we will. I think we will. I hope we will. Alright. So, how am I going to measure this guy out? So, I'll take my pencil here. And I want to leave a little bit of a mat of the envelope behind this paper. So, I'm going to cut here. And then on this side, down here at the bottom, I'm going to mark it right about there. Okay? I'm going to cut as many pieces as I can, and then I'm going to go do the stitching, right? Okay, so where is that mark? Is that it right there? Oh, there it is. Okay. Save that. And then this way we're going to cut right there. Now this envelope, I forgot to mention, measures, I believe it's 9 by 4. I'm sorry, 9.5 by 4, right? Yeah, this envelope here is 9.5 by 4. I forgot to mention that. Alrighty, so this should fit right above on top of here with a little bit of a mat all the way around, and we're going to sew this piece, okay? We're also going to sew this piece, right? So let's reinforce our gussets as well. So let's reinforce this with some washi tape. I'm going to use Tim Holmes. I've got a lot of this blue marble, so I want to use it up. So we're going to use this guy here. And I need my glue stick. Okay, so to reinforce your gussets, I always use some type of tape, whether it's washi tape, bookbinding tape, linen tape, something like that. Those of you who've been with me for a little while know this already. And I always reinforce the tape itself with the Scotch permanent glue stick. Why? Because washi tape a lot of times isn't that sticky, and I don't want it peeling up on the edges, right? Even though I also sew the edges down, okay? I do a little bit of overkill sometimes, but it's just because I want my stuff to stay intact, right? So I'm just going to measure a strip here. Take my glue stick, and I'm going to run my washi tape over it real quick. I'm not going to get too concerned about covering the whole thing because I am going to sew down one edge. Okay. Just rub some glue stick on top of there. Line this up as best we can to where the gusset's in the middle of the tape. I think we got it. All right, then just rub that down. Okay. Okay, we got a little bit of glue seepage right there, but we can get that up here in a second. Okay, I'm going to flip that over and do the same exact thing on the other side. The reason I don't wrap it around is because I don't want the pulling pressure on the paper to where it kind of will buckle and could even tear, okay? So I do it separately in 2 separate strips, and then I cut off the extra with craft tape, which I will show you in just a second. Or craft knife, rather, not craft tape. Craft knife that I'll show you in just a minute. Okay, let's get this on here and just pull it like that. Line up your tapes and you're good to go for this side. And this will keep, even if your paper tears, I mean, it is paper, so over time, flipping it open and close, it will weaken. The washi tape or lace or fabric or linen tape or whatever you use to reinforce it will keep it from falling apart, right? All right, then I just take my craft knife here and lightly just cut off the excess here. Like that. Make sure it's all the way to the edge really well. And then there we go. All right, that one is ready to go, and we can sew that one. So when I sew this one, I'm going to sew it around the edge here, 3 sides, and then down this side of the washi tape. Okay, that'll keep this edge down on top of the glue. Why am I not sewing this side? Because I'm actually folded under, it'll be glued down to the space, so we don't have to worry about it coming up, right? You'll see what I mean when we get there, if you're confused. Okay, this one is also going to get sewn, and then we'll attach it here. Before we do that, we need to make the gusset for this flap here, because it's going to lay up on top of here. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this. This makes it easier for me to see it when I'm stitching it, where the fold is, because I don't want to stitch over the fold, right? Okay. So this piece will go on top of here, right? So it needs a gusset. I'm going to give it a gusset of about 3, so 2/8 or 1 or 1/4, okay? Plus the flap that it will attach to. So get your scoreboard out, and we're going to measure a half for the flap, and then a quarter for the gusset. Yeah? Come on. Why is this not going in there? There we go. And then we're going to reinforce that as well. Excuse me one second, I'll take a sip of my juice here. Okay. Again, we're going to reinforce this flap and gusset here. So I'm going to go ahead and make my folds. Okay. And again, it's just rinse and repeat. All right. Just take the glue again, just like we did before, and just pull your tape across. Yeah. Easy peasy. Let's open this up, put our tape down. Just like that. Uh-oh. Not far enough over. Sorry about that. Try that again. There we go. Then just take your tool and give it a nice press down here. Get all these air bubbles out if you have any. Right? Rinse and repeat. We're going to flip it. Do the same thing on the other side. Come on, tape. Work with me here. Here we go. Oop! I hate when it does that. It tears like right down the middle. Let's try that again. It is being very difficult. Okay, let's be very careful when I pull on it this time. Is that long enough? Not quite. One more pull. Okay. Alright, again with the glue stick. Okay, almost, and there we go. And we're going to do the same thing. This time it's just line up the tapes, right? And there we go. All right. Again, just take your tool and smooth it out. Okay. And this is a little fiddly because the envelope itself, it kind of has a curve to the edge there. So it doesn't really matter that much because it's going to be underneath something. So when you're cutting this off, just keep that in mind if your flap does have this little angle to it. But just follow the edge of it. No big whoop, right? Just like that. Okay. There's that one reinforced, yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and fold it again on our score marks there. Come on now. Work with me here. Having a hard time finding the score mark for some weird reason here. There we go. Okay. Now. Alrighty. So this one will lay on top of here. like so. Yep, and then it will fold open as well, right? Okay, so, okay, let's do this here. Yeah, all right, now, next piece. We are going to go do some stitching here in just a second. All right, this piece is going to go here. On the back of here, we need another piece to cover this as well. So let's do, we'll go here with this guy. What do you think? Yeah? And we'll do the same thing. We're going to leave a little bit of a map. So I'm going to go right up to here. This is the edge of the entrance of the envelope. So I'm going to go right about there, I think. Let's back it up just a little. Okay. Then I'm going to mark it here. And then here. I don't think you guys can see what I'm doing right now. And then right about here to give me that mat that I want, right? So let's cut that because we're going to have to stitch that as well. Okay, where are my marks? There's one there, and then there should be another one right there. Okay, let's do this one first. Then we'll do this mark up here, which is right. Is that right? Yeah. Right there. I got the right one. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay. All right, let's make sure that fits the way we want it to. This one's going to go on the inside, like so. And I think that will work. Okay. So, what do we have? We've got two flaps going on panel 1. So this will be the bottom one. This one will be up on top of that. Okay. I'll go here. Why is this acting all funky? Oh, because it's got that part right there. Okay, so I think what we're going to need to do is, in order to keep that straight, is put another piece of washi tape there just to keep that other fold from acting up, I think. Or, let's see. I'm trying to think here. See, what's happening is it's folding there instead of folding there where I want it to, right? So what we should have done was make this piece bigger to flatten that out. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get a different sheet of paper, a different paper. And that's what we're going to do. Hold on one second, you guys. Oh, we're going to use this right here. I got some errant paper right here. We're going to use this one right here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring it all the way over this way. So that will negate that original flap of the envelope and flatten it out, yeah? Okay. So, yeah. Make my marks here. So this one I'm going to cut here. And okay, that's going to be there. I need to cut this one right about here. I think that'll work. All right, let's try this again. All right, let's see if that fixes the problem now. And that does fix the problem. Okay, So what was happening if you missed it? So here's my gusset, right? This is where I want it to fold, and this is where I want it to flip on this fold. But the original flap, right, fold here of the envelope is bending, right? So it's going to do this, kind of limping, a little bit limp. So what I'm doing is I'm covering that fold, or that, that fold with the backdrop paper to flatten it out, right? So now, once we glue this down, we won't have that problem anymore, right? Okay, so, okie dokie. Now we've got paper for the front of here. We have paper for the back of here. That all that needs to be sewn. This needs to be sewn. So let me go do that, and then we're going to attach this stuff together. Then we're going to start adding some pockets, okay? All right, you guys, and we're back. What are we doing now? Okay, let's get these scraps out of the way. First off, oh, Jiminy Christmas. I just threw everything on the floor. Okay, so, what else did I drop? Oh, I dropped my tape. So we're going to use some double-sided tape here, this next part, to attach, and our Fabri-Tac as well. So let me grab that. Put my glue stick away now. Okay, we've got our Fabri-Tac, we've got our double-sided tape, and we're going to start attaching, right? So we're going to put the first flap on. This is the bottom part. Right here, yeah? Okay, so what I normally do when I glue down my flaps, and I've sewn the washi tape, I'm going to cut off the strings that are there. What I mean. So the strings that are on this bottom part that are going to attach here, I'm going to cut those off. Why? Because if they get pulled, they could theoretically pull this right off the base, right? We don't want that, so I'll cut those off. And I'll leave the ones on the top of that, okay? All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to give this a nice, good burnish again. And I'm going to put my Fabri-Tac on. Using the Fabri-Tac because you have thread there, it's fabric, and it works a lot better than the art glitter. While the art glitter will work, I trust the Fabri-Tac a little bit more. Come on, come out of there. And make sure you get your edges really well, okay? All right. And we're going to watch our threads there. We don't want to glue those in there. And we're going to go right up to the edge of that base page, that base paper. Okay? Right up to the edge of it. All right. Here we go. I'm just going to press down. Give that a second to catch. Even take my tool here, push that down a little more. Alright, then I'm going to open it very gently so not to pull it off. I'm going to push down on the flap on the inside as well. Okay? Try not to move it because the Fabri-Tac will move. Make sure it's still in the same spot. Yeah, we are. And just going to keep pressing on this till it catches. Very important. So if you try to manipulate this when the Fabri-Tac is still wet, it will move from your desired position, and we don't want that. Do not want that. Okay, while that is drying, okay, just going to keep pressing down on this. This is a little fidgety because you've got washi tape, you've got thread on paper, so you have to be very patient for this to catch. Okay? It does not dry as fast as art glitter glue, and you got a lot of moving parts here. So just be patient, okay? Now, I'm going to press it down one more time and I'm going to let it sit for just a second while we add the paper to the envelope that we have. Okay, so the envelope is sewn, the washi tape is sewn down. I've also sewn the backing paper here. So for this, I'm going to use double-sided tape. Why? Because I want to. Because I don't want the edges, I want these edges to be very flat. And I find that using the double-sided tape on the edges with Fabri-Tac in the center keeps the edges flat and keeps them from catching, right? So, this is going to go right about here. Now, I think I'm actually going to make this a pocket as well. I think. But first, before we do anything else, we need to do some inking. I just realized we haven't done it yet. So I've grabbed my distressed ink in black soot. So let's go ahead and ink these guys up. Paying a lot of attention to the corners. I want the corners dark, like it's been handled a whole bunch. Okay, and of course I'm going to take my little blending tool and just rub them out a little bit, just to blur it just a bit. Alright, and that's going to go right here. I think I'm going to skip. Do I want to skip the pocket, or do I want to put a pocket there? While I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and ink the envelope as well. And that other backing paper while I'm thinking about it. So if I make it a pocket, all we need to use is glue. We won't need the double-sided tape. Because if you use double-sided tape on a pocket, you run the risk of things catching on that tape when you pull things in and out. So I'd have to use glue. Okay. And I do know some creators use double-sided tape on their pockets. I do not. So it's personal preference, and everybody has their reasons to use what they use. Now, like I said, I don't use double-sided tape on pockets for that reason. I don't want things catching on that adhesive on the side if it's not all the way attached, right? Okay. We're already going to have a pocket there, right? And I'm going to make this a pocket as well. This one will be a pocket too. So we'll have a pocket here and a pocket here, right? And then I could make it a pocket here. Right there. Give it another one. Right there. Alright, let's make it a pocket. We're doing it. We're going to make it a pocket. So get rid of the double-sided tape. Grab your Fabri-Tac. And we're going to make this a pocket. Now this doesn't have a gusset, so you can go all the way to the edge here. Normally I won't if I got a gusset, but for this one it's fine. You want to go all the way to the edge because you want these edges to lay as flat as possible so nothing catches on them, right? Alright. Let's lay this down here, making sure we cover that original envelope fold, right? That was the whole point of getting a new sheet. Back that up right about there. I think it's good. Let's take a look. I think we're even. Alright. I'm just going to press this down. Alright, I'm also going to grab my residue eraser and go ahead and get that glue that seeps out up as well. Get that up. Like I always tell you guys, get that glue up as soon as possible. Don't let it sit too long. The longer it sits, the harder it is to get up. Okay? And if you leave Fabri-Tac glue down, you will not be able to ink in that spot. It will not take ink. So you end up with a little bald spot if you're inking your edges. Okay. Which is why it's also a good idea to ink before you glue. Okay. I think we are good. Alrighty. I'm just going to press this down again. Going forward here. Making sure we've got good contact for this pocket. And we're not going to manipulate it too much by putting anything in it right now. We're just going to let that glue cure, yeah? Alright, do we have any more seepage anywhere? I don't think so. A little right there. I'm going to press that down some more. Yeah, there was some glue seepage right there. Okay. Okie dokie, I think we're good now. Being a little paranoid, I'm just double checking my corners. And these edges here, I think we're good. So now that flap is gone, and it's not going to be an issue. So let's fold again at our score marks that we made for our gusset, right? And now this lays flat, see, right? And it should no longer be an issue. Okay, and this will go on top of the other. Before we do that, we're going to put this piece on. So this will be this way. It'll fold like that. And this one we're going to make a pocket as well. This is a lot deeper than the other pocket from the other folio. I did that on purpose. Okay, let's put our glue on. So it's going to open, let's see. Which way do I want it to open? Do I want it to open the same side as this one? Or the opposite side? I think I want it to open on this side. Just for kicks. Okay. Alrighty. Oop, I forgot to clip those strings on the inside. Let me do that real quick. Inside strings are on this side. Come on, come on. Clip those. We don't want those ripping anything up. Okay. This is going to go this way. Yes. Alright, let's bring it up to the edge there. Okay, let's make sure that that's even. Alright, I think we're good there. Also need to erase that pencil mark right here. Get rid of that. Okay. And now we're going to press down on our edges. And again, don't worry about your glue seepage. It's quite alright. It's going to happen. You can wipe that right up. No big deal. Just want to make sure that you get really good contact on your edges. Yes? Okay, let's start moving this glue here. A lot of glue seepage on this one, didn't we? Okay. right. A little bit right here. Over there. Got some over here. Get these strings out the way. Come on. I got a lot of glue seepage on this one. Didn't realize I used that much glue. Okay. I think we're good. All right. Now, there is our other flap there. Flip, flap, flip in, tip in, whichever you want to call it. Look at all this glue stuff here. So this piece is going to go on top of here. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that. Let's check this out here. Looks like we're good. And let's go ahead and get rid of this glue seepage here that we've got. Yeah. We don't want any of that showing. No, we do not. Okay, good deal. Got a little bit down here. Let's see if we have any back here. Good. All right. Now, there's that flap. This one will go on top of here. Right? So, do we need to go ahead and cut these strings here? So, on the flap, again, we're going to cut the strings that are going on the downside. Right? On the bottom of the flap. Or underneath where we're going. Alright. Let's give this a nice crease here. So we're going to put our glue. Right here. And then I'm going to have to check the time because I have to go pick up my daughter from work here in a minute. Okie dokie. I think we're good with the glue. I think I went a little overboard, but it happens. It happens. I'd rather have too much than not enough, personally. Alright, let's go ahead and we're going to go right up to the score, but not over it, right? Just lay that down. Make sure it's even at the top and the bottom there. I'm going to move it up just a little. Let me double check this here. I think we are not quite there. I need to move this up some more. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright, I'm going to line this up with that fold, that score mark there. I'm going to push down here. Okay, I want these two score marks lined up, yeah? Alright, we're just going to keep pressing down, be patient till it catches, right? Slowly open this up. Press down on that flap inside, yeah? Very gently, but firmly. You don't want to move the envelope around. Okay, now again up here up on top. Again, you're just going to have to be patient. It takes a minute for the fabric to catch on the washi. Even when you're using, even though you got the thread there, it takes it just a minute to soak in there and dry. Alright, I'm going to let that sit for just a second before I manipulate it. Alright, let's see how we're doing on time. Alright, we are at about 45 minutes. I want to check the clock here. Hold on a second. Alright, I got a few more minutes before we have to go for the evening. I'll make sure I'm still in frame here. Okay. I'm just going to run my residue eraser around here, make sure we don't have any seepage. Also pushing down on the flap there, making sure it's attached well. I'm going to open it up slowly and start getting rid of this glue as well. Got a pretty good bit of seepage here, so I want to get rid of that. Okay, let's see what we got going on over here. A little bit over here too. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, let's see how it's looking over here. Alright, we're going to let that settle some more. It's not quite catching like I want it to yet. Just got to be patient. Some creators aren't patient. And you know, I probably could use hot glue. I wonder if I should try to use hot glue, because that stuff will grab. I haven't used hot glue as a main adhesive in a long time. I switched over to art glitter and Fabri-Tac a long time ago. And I haven't had any problems with it. It's just sometimes, you know, when I'm doing videos, especially, it's just like, you know, who wants to wait for glue to dry? It's like watching paint dry. It's so riveting and exciting, right? Alright, I think we are good here. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and fold that other mark there. Get our gussets formed. And there we go. We should be good now. Yep, we are good. Okay, so here's what we've got, right? We've got our first flip out here. Yes. Second flip here. Then we'll have stacked pockets here. 2 envelopes here. We're going to have the faux pockets here, right? This will stay a pocket all on its own. I actually may add some stuff here. We'll have a... one of my little mini CD sleeves here will have a pocket here as well, okay? So, let's see. I am going to... Alright. Let's see, what have we done so far? We've just done that. And let's see how we're doing on time. Alright, let's go ahead and... I kind of want to... I feel like I want to put a tab right here to indicate there's a pocket there. I think I will. I didn't on the last one, but I think I will on this one. Right? I'm just debating whether I want to go and call the video tonight and then kick it back up next week. But let's go ahead and let's keep going. Okay, let's keep going. All right, we're gonna put a pocket right here, and I'm gonna use this here, this scrap that we didn't get to use. So I'm gonna make. Maybe not. Let's see, what else have I got over here? I think I want to use this one. But I like the contrast. I don't. This isn't wide enough for what I wanted to do. Okay, so this one we're going to see how much room we're working with. So I'm going to grab my measuring tape again and just check. Inside the stitching is where I want the pockets to end. So I've got, let's say, they're 3 1/4, right? And if I have this pocket here, so 3 1/4 wide, plus 1/2 inch gusset, so 4 1/4 wide, to 4 1/2. Okay, so 3 1/4 and 4 1/2, plus the flaps. 3 1/4 and 4 1/2. 3 1/4, 4 1/2. There's the measurements there. Okay, before we add for the flaps. Okay, so 4 1/2 long means we're going to have to add an inch. I'm sorry, 1/2 inch flap. So it's going to be 4 3/4. Okay? 4 3/4 long. Right? Yeah. And then that's a 3 3/4. So it's gonna be 4 4/4 wide. 4 3/4 wide. The square. Okay. Let's grab this up there. There's the pocket. Alright, let's grab our scoreboard. We're doing our 1/2 inch gussets on the sides. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a 1/2 inch flap at the bottom. And that's our pocket. Then we're going to do our mitering like we do. Where the scores intersect, we're going to cut into it and then out of it. Into the intersection and then back out. So it looks like this. Yeah? And the top, since I'm going to tear it, so I'm going to have a torn pocket. I'm going to tear the paper away from me. That way I don't have the white core like that's shown on this side. I don't want that. Once I tear that off, then I'll miter the scores up here by the entrance. Yeah? So from the fold or the score mark to the outside. I'm going to fold these. And we're not going to attach it because it needs to be sewn. Or stitched, or whatever you want to call it. But there's the pocket. So it'll go there, and this one will go right beneath it. Yeah? So I'm actually going to cut this flap off. We don't need it. Okay? And we're actually going to do some inking on this one and some stamping. So let's grab a little stamping paper here. Alright, so I'm going to do some stenciling first. Where did my stencil go that I wanted to use? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Here it is. Alright, this is Tim Holtz. This is THMM123. I'm going to use that side there. Now, let's see. Where is my blending brush? And I am going to use Distress Ink Black Soot. And do it very lightly, not too dark. I just want this for some texture. Yeah. Not too dark. It's going to get darker soon enough. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. See? Just a little bit of texture here. If you guys can see that. Yeah. Just a little texture. Put that to the side. Now I'm going to bring in some green. And then some black. Alright? So, let's go ahead and do the green. Then we'll do the stamping above it. This is Rustic Wilderness in Distress Oxide. And I'm just going to come from the outside and work the edges. Okay? I start on the paper and then go towards the element. Hitting the corners really well. Okay. Alright, then I'm going to come over this. We're going to ink the edges and then we're going to use a blending brush. Alright, so grab the black soot. Did I do that yet? Alright, so I'm going to do the edges here really dark. And then we're going to blend it all together, okay? Alright. Then I'm even going to hit a little bit around this window as well. Okay, just a little. Now I'm going to take my blending brush here and I'm going to blend all these colors together. I want to blend the black and the green. Because we're going for, if you remember, we're going for this look right here. All right? Okay. And just keep blending until it blends together. If you need to, grab some more black. Run it over the top there. And just keep working it. Blend this a little bit better up here. Okay. Okay, take a little more black up here. And blend it some more. Just keep doing that back and forth until you get the desired effect, right? And again, stop when you want to. Alright, I think that's good enough. Now I'm going to take my grid stamp and do some gridding. Do some stamping. Grab my archival ink and jet black. I'm going to put some grid on here. There we go. Can you tell I like my grid stamp? I use it so much, so much. All right, let's grab some stamps for this as well. I'm going to grab my Field Notes and Eccentric. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to use that guy right there. Let's grab a block here. I like putting blank labels when I'm stamping. I don't know why I do. I just do. Half on, half off kind of deals. Okay. What else? We definitely need some number action here, right? That's a good one. Where's the opening? There it is. Okay. How about the 5? You know I love the 5. Let's put the 5 on there. I do love this 5. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm actually going to grab a little scrap here and cover this up here. Just have to get that 5 on there. Let's go right there. Yes. Perfect, 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 perfect. What else we want to use? What else we want to use? How about identification check's always a good one. Right here. It's a large number right there. Put that in the label. Like so. Another large number here we can go right there. What else do we think? We want to put some stars on it? Why not? Let's put some stars on it. I always use some stars. There. Well, reserved. Put reserve right there. I'm going to break up these numbers maybe. Well, I'll put it right here. And then something circular right there. We've got a little factory stamp right here. Come on, there we go. Well, received shipment stamp there. Need something right there. What do we think about... Oh, I don't know. There we go. This will fit right there. There we go. I think that should work. That should be enough, don't you think? Want to put something right there? No, I really don't. Okay. Alright, we don't have to sew that pocket, but we do have to sew the other one before we attach them. Okay. Let's check the time here. Let me go do the stitching and I'll be right back. Woo! I smacked the camera. Hey guys. Alright, sorry, I had to take a little bit of a break, but I'm back to finish up what we were just working on. I went and did a little stitching on that pocket, and we're going to go ahead and attach it here and here, I believe is a good idea. Yeah. So I'm going to actually put some eyelets on this thing first before we attach it. And then what I thought we would do is go ahead and put in all the flips, and then we're going to come back and do all the pockets. Yeah? Okay. Well, about time to fill up my eyelets here for my big pack at 1,000. I love that deal. It's so great. Ugh. I love finding deals. Don't you? I do. Should I put brads or eyelets? Because I've got these really big brads. Ooh, I can't wait to show you guys these things too. Side note, remember those turn mounts that I usually use? Well, they come in 3 different colors. They came in like a bronzy color and then silver and gold. Look what I did with the silver and the gold ones, y'all. Can you guys see that? How pretty are those? I did this with alcohol ink. So these were silver and gold, bright silver and gold. I was not going to use them. I was like, I've got to do something with these. So, yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Same process I did with some paper clips to rust them out. So easy to do. And finally was able to play with my alcohol inks. Again, with another way to play with them. Anyway, I found this big like bowl of like brads at the thrift store. I mean, look how some of these are like 2 inches long, or whatever. But anyway, I grabbed the whole thing. So, but in here are these cool little these guys. So they're kind of like a brassy. Can you see the color of that there? That going out of focus, but. So maybe we should use these here instead of the eyelets. I use eyelets all the time. Let's use some brads. Let's use brads. Why not? Why not? I'm going to use brads this time. Just cause. Just cause. We have got all different kinds of brads in here. I can't, like, there's so many different. I don't know why it was weird. It's a box of brads that I found at Goodwill. So, well, might as well grab it, right? Alright, let's grab a pokey tool here, and I'm going to make sure I'm in frame and I'm close enough. Should I come bring you guys down a little bit? I think you guys are okay right there. Let's come down just a smidge. And then turn this a little bit. How's that? That good? Okay, so I'm going to put some brads here. And one right there. Try not to poke myself with it. If I don't like the brad, I'll just put the eyelet in there. Yeah, I like the brad. Brad it is. I'm just going to turn this a little bit. Spread these out. Strings everywhere. So sorry about not posting a Sunday series Sunday this last week. I just had so much going on that I wasn't able to get it edited and everything in time to put it out. Why is this being difficult right now? Hello? There we go. Duh. Okay, so I'm going to turn that one this way so it's at a 90-degree angle, and just press down here to flatten it out. And I am going to put some tape over that just so nothing catches over it. Okay? Just FYI. Probably going to use book binding tape because I know it'll stick down really good. Okay, so yeah, I like the brad. Let's grab another one here. I think I kind of want to do it crooked, not like all the way across, maybe. Maybe down. I do want to do it down a little bit. A little asymmetrical kind of deal here. Why not? Yeah. I like it. I dig it. Okay, one that way, this one, and then we'll turn it. And I will bet you $1 million that I left my book binding tape on my other table. I did. Oh, God, Lord mercy. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right there. I would forget my head, literally, if it was not attached to my body. Okay. So, I'm going to be doing a lot of filming tonight because I just got a second job recently, and my shifts will be 4 days a week from 10:30 at night till 3:30 in the morning. So tonight is my first night to start getting used to that schedule. So right now it's a little bit after 10. So I'm going to keep filming till 3:30 in the morning and see how I handle it and get used to that schedule, because then I have to be up for my 9 to 5er by 7:30 to get at least one cup of coffee in me before I start working. Okay, so we're just going to cover these with some book binding tape, just so whenever we put something inside, that hopefully it doesn't snag. That's the idea. We don't want it snagging on the brads, right? Tearing anything. And I'm using the book binding tape. You can use washi tape. Just make sure you back it up with some glue, linen tape, whatever. You can even use cardstock if you want to glue that down on top of it. Just cover up your brads. It'll make your life easier later on. And nobody's going to see it. Okay? So now we have everything sliding in there smoothly. Is the idea. Okie dokie artichokes. Alright, let's keep ourselves tidy here. And we are going to go ahead and glue these down. This one will go right here. And this one will go right here. Let's cut that a little bit. That's a little long. There we go. Give that one more little burnish there. What did I do with my... Let's give that a nice burnish real quick before we glue it down. And let's grab some glitter glue. Here we go. Alright, so what did you guys think of the Franken tags? Aren't those cute? I love doing those. And that is an easy way to bump up your stash real quick. I mean, you just do one set and you've got 5. Okay. La-di-da-di-da with the glue. So we're going to call it this video, this part, after I attach these. And then the next video, or next part, I think is part 4. We're going to go and do all the flaps and flip outs. Put those all in. Okay? Get those done. Alright, if you're going to go right here, I want you to go right here. It's a good spot for you, I think. Alright. gonna lift this up, make sure it's straight. Yep. Looks straight to me. Okay, that's down. And then we will do our CD sleeve here. Remember again, do not go all the way to the edge with your glue unless you prefer the tight flat pocket. I do not. So for some of those of you who are new, I know I have some new subbies. The reason I do my glue this way and don't go all the way to the edge is this allows the pockets a little bit of flex, okay, versus being tight and flat down on the page. And you run less risk of your pocket ripping off the page if you try to put more stuff in it. Yeah, that's straight. There we go. Okay, and it's also a little hidden pocket back there too because I didn't go all the way across. And so is this one, I believe. No, it's not. Okay. All right. So push these down again. Make sure we got good contact there. We leave it for the night over there. All right, you guys. Let's call this a video for the night. This is part 2 or part 3? I'm getting confused. Anywho, we're going to call it a video tonight. So we've got our first set of pockets in here, right? Here, got these done, right? And we're going to actually, I'm going to put some tabs on these, probably. I think I would prefer tabs versus notches. We'll do those later. We've got this flap done here. We got one flap here with a pocket right there, which I'm probably going to put a tab on there as well. Pocket here, flip it over, right? Got another pocket here with I'll probably put another tab there. Pocket here, yeah. Reinforced here. We've got our flap here, flips open. We got all this space here that we're going to be filling in later. So our next video, we're going to do the flaps and flip outs for these 2 sections. Hopefully we can get through all 3 sections. I'm going to try to just do that. It may be a longer video, but I want to get the flaps done and over with so we can start putting the pockets on. Okay? I will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you soon. I love y'all. Bye.